I will now call the April 19th, 2010 Blue Springs City Council meeting to order. Agenda number 1. We're going to ask you to stand. We will observe a moment of silence, and then I will lead you in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. I want to welcome all of you in attendance tonight, as well as those that might be watching on cable TV 7, to tonight's City Council meeting, agenda number 1. The next item is the consent agenda. Are there any items that need to be pulled? Seeing none, I would accept the motion for approval.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Lauer.
Aye.
Councilman Reed.
Aye.
Councilman Shaver.
Aye.
Councilman Edmondson.
Aye.
Councilman Solon.
Aye.
Carried unanimously.
I will deviate somewhat from the printed agenda. Instead of the mayor's presentation, we will go to councilman's comments. We will adjourn, and then we will have the presentation by the mayor. So at this time, I will open the floor for any comments that any council members would like to make. Councilman Reed, yes.
Do I get to speak?
You get to speak.
Okay.
U.S. Is your microphone on? We want them to hear you speak.
Well, I can't tell you how much fun it's been over the last 17 years. I must say there's been a few trying moments, but all in all, it's just been great, and I've been so honored to serve everybody. But I really want to honor somebody very special, and I thought the counterpart would be here, but she's not. So I have to expect Kathy to be very honest. And you have to show me part. Yes. This one's yours, and this one is Carol's, and you have to take it out and look at it. And you have to read what's on it.
It says, Kathy Richardson, Blue Springs City Clerk Extraordinaire.
Without our city clerks. And they are just absolutely superb. And all of you new ones, you take care of them for me, because they're my best buds. And listen,
Oh, okay. All
all
right.
right, this one is Cheryl's,
right.
and so
Thank
you
you
can
for
give it to her tomorrow, okay?
I will.
And as far as that, all the staff has been absolutely superb to work with. I can't think of one of them that's ever let me down on anything. And I just really hope all the new council has as much respect for them as I do, because they're a great bunch and they go above and beyond the call of duty. And you realize that sometimes when you look at your emails and they come from Eric at 2 o'clock in the morning. Have you stopped that? I haven't seen one for a while.
I put the delayed send on it.
Oh, and I'd like to call everybody by name, but I would leave somebody out. And all of our constituents have been wonderful to work with, and I've even enjoyed getting out in the rain and stomping in the mud with my people. So it's a great thing to do, and I'm glad I've had the chance to do it. And now I'm glad to be able to go home. I don't have Channel 7. I'll have to watch on the computer.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Sheila.
Your Honor, I guess I would first like to thank the residents of District 1. It has really been my pleasure serving District 1. It was some people I only talked to when I campaigned. That's really the best opportunity to get to know people, and it's certainly been my pleasure. I'd like to add my thanks to the staff, to Eric. They have been extremely supportive, prompt. I can't think of a single time when I didn't get a response. And I think we're very fair, did everything they could to resolve any issues that I brought to them. And I appreciate your support, Your Honor. I think we've had a great team. I appreciate working with all of our council. We didn't always agree, but I think that's the democracy. That's the process. In my opinion, that is desirable, not to have always agree. We may get a little passionate at times, but that's what makes for a better government. I would encourage our new council people to remember the residents that elected them, and remember, at least my experience has been, the majority is usually silent, and it's always the vocal few, and it's not easy making a tough decision, figuring out who really you should be representing. So I would encourage you, think about the people whose doors you knocked on. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Solon?
Yeah, serving on the city council has been one of the most rewarding experiences of my life. I remember right after my election, driving around the neighborhoods and thinking, I represent all of these people, and they trust me to look out for their best interests. And I have remembered that on every vote and every decision that I have made, that the people trust me to do the right thing, and that I'm here to serve the people. Most of you know that I decided not to seek re-election. I decided to run for state representative in the 55th district, so hopefully I will be able to serve our citizens in a different capacity. I have very bittersweet feelings this evening. However, I leave my seat knowing that I'm leaving it in very capable hands with Grant Bowerman. So I wish Grant and the City Council and the Mayor the best of luck, and you will all be in my prayers. And I want to thank the citizens of Blue Springs for giving me this opportunity to serve. So thank you.
We certainly wish you well as you explore other avenues in life. Some's just going to take it easy for a while and watch us on cable channel 7. But that's okay. I'm sure we will continue to see you out and about, and certainly you won't be strangers at City Hall. That being said, I would accept a motion to adjourn so I can make some presentations.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. We adjourn. Now, we will have some presentations. I want to first state that I received a call from Jefferson City. Representative Brian Pratt and Representative Gary Duesenberg are both in Jefferson City, but they do have House resolutions that they plan to personally deliver to you all. Regret can't be here, but they certainly are doing the people's will and the people's work in Jefferson City. So after that, next we're going to have former mayor and Jackson County legislator Gregory Grounds come forth and make a presentation from Jackson County. And we're going to switch.
I wondered how we might do that.
Yeah, we're going to do.
Carson, thank you. Am I on?
You should.
Am I on now?
Can you hear?
You can hear me?
Is it on?
Okay, good.
It's on.
Whether you want to or not, can you hear me? Carson, thank you for the opportunity to come tonight. It is a particular privilege owing to the history I've had of being here and working with these individuals. I have some proclamations for you that were unanimously adopted today by the legislature, but rather than reading them, I'd like to make a few general comments to you and then a few specific ones since I know each of you so well. You know, we like to say that there are only a couple of things in life that are certain, death and taxes, but there is another rule in politics, and that is as certainly as you are sworn in one day you will leave office. Under different circumstances sometimes, but that day comes. And in between is a blessing from God, the opportunity to serve our fellow citizens, to make the hard decisions, to stand in the fire knowing sometimes when you vote, a lot of people are going to not like you. Sometimes when you vote, everybody's not going to like you, but that you're willing to do that. And you know that you have done what many others haven't, and that is take the chance, run for office, accept the results, and then do the very best you can. And each of you have done that. I'd like to address you individually for a moment. Lyle, you know, I've known you since before you were in office. Yeah, why don't you, please. I've known you since before you were in office. I remember all those committees you were on, all those times you went away from Grace, who we were privileged to have her allow you to come out and work in the community, and then to see you take office was a thrill, because I knew you'd work just as hard. Like your comrades here that are leaving tonight, you did it without any selfish motivation. You just wanted a better Blue Springs. And we on the legislature want to acknowledge that. I just cannot imagine that you will stay without getting right back in the arena, not necessarily the political arena, but when the call comes, I can see you on all of those committees that tend to spring up when there are problems in the community. So I want to congratulate you on the term you've served, and I look forward to seeing your work in the future.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sheila, I'm glad to see you so healthy. With as many times as I've known you've been struck by lightning. I mean, when I watch on TV, I'm just waiting for my set to blow up. But you know, we don't move forward if we all think the same way all the time. We have to hear those differing views, and then afterwards we vote our conscience, and however it works out, we go forward. And so you've been great, both before you took office on the Planning Commission, on the City Council, always willing to dig out those details. I remember years ago when you were on the Planning Commission, and we had a company coming to town called Family Video. And I think everybody thought Family Video was going to happen. It was a good thing. And she looked behind the scenes and found out they sold, or they rented adult-rated products in a back room. We had no idea. Family Video. And because of your work, we ultimately turned them down, which I think was the right thing to do for Blue Springs. So I appreciate all that work. I look forward to your election in August and in November so that you can continue to serve Blue Springs, and the legislature wants to acknowledge that and congratulate you on your service.
Well, thank you.
I should mention Charlie, too. And finally, Sissy. Sissy, you've got to come up here. Sissy, I had the privilege of serving with you on the council and getting to know you well. I got to know Jim because of you. A great blessing in my life. I can remember at a National League of Cities, us running around in a car lost in Phoenix somewhere. And you were quite willing then, just as on the council, to point out to me the direction I should be going. Whether I thought I should or not. And all those years and all those items that you voted on, I can't help but think of the satisfaction you must feel as you drive around the community and you look at the parkway, the golf course, Coles distribution, all those things that you had a role in, and for which all of us are appreciative that you took the time to learn everything you could in those subjects. You would speak up, you would help direct us, and you have been a tremendous leader for the city of Blue Springs and Jackson County. And the legislature wants to thank you for that and thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Legislator Grounds. Now I have the privilege of making some presentations. My assistant, please.
Vanna.
We have a couple of items, and the first one is going to be Councilman Shaver. We're going to do this by district. We have a proclamation, and well, I'm going to read it anyway. Most times I just do a couple of whereases, but I'm going to read this. Whereas Lyle Schaefer has been a Blue Springs resident for over 40 years, serving as a member of the City Council for 3 years, and whereas Lyle has passion for Blue Springs shown by his many years of community service and leadership, he has shared his knowledge in leadership, strategic planning, financial planning, budgeting, negotiations, organization, project management, problem solving, and team building. And whereas Lyle served the Blue Springs community in multiple capacities, including chair of the Telecommunication Task Force, chair of the Stormwater Detention Task Force, co-chair of the Property Codes Maintenance Committee, council liaison to the Economic Development Corporation and Park Commission Board, Citizens Advisory Committee, Renew the Blue, Out of the Blue, Stand Up the Blue, and all these blues. Whereas Lyle's commitment to the community has resulted in numerous awards and recognition, including Citizen of the Year, and whereas Lyle has been married to his wife Grace for 38 years, and they have 3 sons, Lenny, Kenny, and Mark. Now therefore it be resolved that I, Carson Ross, Mayor of Blue Springs, and the Blue Springs City Council, take great pleasure in recognizing the significant professional achievement of Lyle Shaver, and herewith express our sincere gratitude for his invaluable contribution he has made to the local government and the state of Missouri. Lyle, congratulations.
Thank you.
And don't leave yet. We also have another beautiful keepsake, says presented to Lyle Shaver, District 1 Councilman, in grateful appreciation for your years of outstanding service and devotion, City of Blue Springs. And the clock is set.
And the clock is set. It is. Thank you.
Councilman Sissy Reed. Proclamation for Sissy Reed. Whereas Sissy Reed has been a Blue Springs resident for over 37 years, serving as a council member for 17 years, and whereas Sissy's focus as a councilman centered on the revitalization and restoration of the historic downtown corridor of Blue Springs, including her service on the Historic Preservation Commission and facilitating in the adoption of the Downtown Master Plan and Downtown Development Code. And where Sissy served as Mayor Pro Tem with Mayor Greg Grounds, Mayor Steve Steiner, and Mayor Carson Ross. I mean, you serve with more mayors you can shake a stick at. Serving as council liaison for the Planning Commission, and where Sissy is a real estate broker and has been in the real estate business since 1979, and where Sissy is an active member in many community organizations, including the First Baptist Church, St. Mary's Auxiliary, Rotary Club, the Blue Springs Business Association, and the Nelson Friends of Art, and where Sissy was married to Jim, her late husband and constant supporter of 47 years, who together had 2 daughters, Shelley and Shara, and 3 grandchildren. Now therefore, be it resolved that I, Carson Ross, Mayor of Blue Springs and Blue Springs City Council, take great pleasure in recognizing the significant professional achievement of Sissy Reed, and herewith express our sincere gratitude for the invaluable contribution she has made to local government in the state of Missouri. Congratulations. And we also have a beautiful clock for you, presented to Sissy Reed, District 2 Councilman, in grateful appreciation for your years of outstanding service and devotion, City of Blue Springs.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. And hold up. The delivery has just been made. Vanna, would you hold that? We'll put that in water later. These are some flowers, and these came from your District 2 Councilman, Ken Edmonds.
Well, of course they would come from my district councilman, Mr. Edmonds. I haven't seen him. Where is he? He's been my buddy and my neighbor for many, many years. Thank you, Kent.
We love you, Sissy.
Councilman Sheila Solon. Proclamation, Sheila Solon. Whereas Sheila has been a Blue Springs resident for over 17 years, serving as a councilman for 3 years, and where Sheila served the Blue Springs community in multiple capacities, including the Planning Commission, Board of Zoning and Adjustment, Charter Review Committee, the City Area Plan Committee, the Capital Improvement Committee, the Citizens Advisory Committee on Tax Issues, Chairman of the Multifamily Task Force Committee, Chairman of the Development Advisory Commission, and member of the Chairman of the Comprehensive Plan Task Force. And where Sheila has shown her commitment to Blue Springs School District by serving on the PTA Board, SOV, Cardell Mason Elementary, Moreland Ridge Middle School, and Blue Springs South High School. And where Sheila is also a member of the Citizens Advisory Committee, the Superintendent's Roundtable, the Blue Springs South Booster Club, the Blue Springs South Football Booster, the Citizens Advisory Committee, SAFE Subcommittee, the Hospital Committee of the First United Methodist Church, and the United Methodist Women. And where Sheila and her husband Charlie have been married for 22 years and have 2 children, Lindsay and Spencer. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Carson Ross, Mayor of Blue Springs. 24 years. Well, we will have this redone. We don't want to cheat Charlie out of any years here. So anyway, I'm going to reread that. Whereas Sheila and Charlie have been married for 24 years and have 2 children, Lindsay and Spencer. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Carson Ross, Mayor of Blue Springs, and the Blue Springs City Council take great pleasure in recognizing the significant professional achievement of Sheila Solon, and herewith express our sincere gratitude for the invaluable contribution she has made to local government in the state of Missouri. Congratulations, Councilman Solon. And we also have the beautiful clock for you as well, time set. Presented to Sheila Solon, District 3 Councilman, in grateful appreciation for your years of outstanding service and devotion in the City of Blue Springs. And we also have the roses.
Thank you.
You can just leave it in since we've shown hers.
Thank you very much.
You bet. again, our sincere appreciation for your years of service, and we certainly will miss you, but we will see you around. And don't be surprised, some of you have already you've already received some phone calls from me, and you might receive some more. So, but anyway, thank you very much for your service, and let's all of us just show another round of applause and appreciation for their service.
Thank you all.
I will now call the April 19th, 2010 Blue Springs City Council meeting, Agenda 2, to order. And the first order is the city clerk will administer the oath of office to the new elected council members. First, we will have District 1 Councilman Dale Carter.
Repeat after me and raise your right hand, please. I, Dale Carter,
I, Dale Carter,
do solemnly swear and affirm
do solemnly swear and affirm
that I possess the qualifications
that I possess the qualifications
prescribed by law
prescribed by law
for the office of Councilman District 1,
for the office of Councilman District 1,
and that I support the constitutions of the United States
and that I support the constitutions of the United States
and the state of Missouri,
and the state of Missouri,
the provisions of the City of Blue Springs Home Rule Charter,
the provisions of the City of Blue Springs Home Rule Charter
and state statutes,
and state statutes,
and the ordinances of the City of Blue Springs.
and the ordinances of the City of Blue Springs.
I shall faithfully conduct myself in office
I shall faithfully conduct myself in office
and respect the confidences and information
and respect the confidences and information
which come into my possession.
which come into my possession.
Congratulations.
District 2, Chris Levasseur.
Okay, if you raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Chris Levasseur,
I, Chris Levasseur,
do solemnly swear and affirm
do solemnly swear and affirm
that I possess the qualifications
that I possess the qualifications
prescribed by law
prescribed by law
for the office of Councilman District 2,
for the office of Councilman District 2,
and that I support the Constitution of the United States
that I support the Constitution of the United States
and the state of Missouri,
and the state of Missouri,
the provisions of the City of Blue Springs
the provisions of the City of Blue Springs
Home Rule Charter
Home Rule Charter
and state statutes,
and state statutes,
and the ordinances of the City of Blue Springs.
and the ordinances of the City of Blue Springs.
I shall faithfully conduct myself in office
I shall faithfully conduct myself in office
and respect the confidences and information
and respect the confidences and information
which come into my possession.
which come into my possession.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Last but not least, Councilman District 3, Grant Bowerman.
Okay, if you raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Grant Bowerman,
I, Grant Bowerman,
do solemnly swear and affirm
do solemnly swear and affirm
that I possess the qualifications
that I possess the qualifications
prescribed by law
prescribed by law
for the office of Councilman District 3,
for the office of Councilman District 3,
and that I support the constitutions of the United States
that I support the constitutions of the United
and the
States
state of Missouri,
and the state of Missouri,
the provisions of the city of Blue Springs
the provisions of the city of Blue Springs,
Home Rule Charter,
Home Rule Charter,
and state statutes,
and state statutes,
and the ordinances of the city of Blue Springs.
and the ordinances of the city of Blue Springs.
I shall faithfully conduct myself in office
I shall faithfully conduct myself in office
and respect the confidences and information
and respect the confidences and information
which come into my possession.
which come into my possession.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now will the new councilmen take their seats. You are officially seated. One of the things I failed to mention, Councilman Fowler is not here tonight. It's not that he did not want to be here. He had a little accident. I say a little accident, but he had an accident, and he's not able to be here tonight, so he sends his regrets for not being here to wish the outgoing members well and also to welcome the new members to the council. So that's why he's not here tonight. Well, Councilman? The next order of business is to elect a Mayor Pro Tem. Is there a motion?
Your Honor, I would like to make a motion to have Kent Edmondson as the Mayor Pro Tem.
Is there a second?
I'll second that, Your Honor.
Okay. Is there any discussion? Seeing now, let's roll call this one.
Okay. Councilman Lau.
So we
Aye.
can- Go ahead.
Councilman Levinson.
Aye.
Councilman Carter.
Aye.
Councilman Edmondson.
I guess I should vote for myself, so aye.
Councilman Bauer.
Aye.
Carried unanimously.
Yeah, just in case it was a close one, you wanted to make sure you got the necessary votes. Congratulations, Councilman Edmondson. I know you'll serve well. For those that don't know, when you're elected Mayor Pro Tem, you're also the council's liaison or representative to the Planning Commission. So now Councilman Edmondson will be tied up all 4 Monday nights. The Planning Commission meets on the 2nd and 4th, and the council meets on the 1st and the 3rd. So all 4 of his Monday nights are booked. So, but we appreciate you accepting that responsibility.
Thank you.
Next is the consent agenda. Are there items that need to be pulled from the consent agenda?
Your Honor,
Yes.
could we pull item C?
Okay, we will pull item C. Are there other items that need to be pulled from the consent agenda? Seeing none, we'll accept a motion for approval.
Motion to approve?
Is there a second?
Second?
Roll call.
Councilman Levinson.
Aye.
Councilman Carter.
Aye.
Councilman Edmondson.
Aye.
Councilman Bowerman, sorry.
That's okay. Aye.
Councilman Lauer.
Aye.
Carried unanimously.
Councilman Edmondson asks that we pull item C, which is to adopt resolution number 35-2010, approving a contract for replacing air conditioning and heating equipment at City Hall and the Public Safety Building. Councilman Edmondson.
Basically, a question to staff. At one time, we were looking at doing a performance evaluation that might replace some of the air conditioning equipment based on improvements. I didn't know whether, I knew this was something that was urgent, but I just kind of wanted an update if we were still looking at doing that or if that's something to put on the side.
Councilman Edmondson, it's been something that we have looked at, we've studied, we've actually had several months ago many conversations with company Johnson Controls. However, we have essentially put that particular initiative on hold. just pending further analysis and review. One of the possibilities that we might have is that there are some stimulus funds that we have received, and you are aware that we received some stimulus funds for a recycling facility. Then we also received a MARC grant for a recycling facility. We ended up recommending that we use the MARC grant because it provided more. That has freed up some funds from the stimulus energy funds, and we are reevaluating whether or not we can use some of those funds for some of the performance contracting. There's more work and more due diligence and analysis required. This particular item that you have in front of you, however, needs to be done now as opposed to waiting for an additional program or opportunity that would be down the road. So we're still interested in looking at performance contracting and how we can look comprehensively at our city facilities, but this particular one at this building and at City Hall, we're recommending need to go ahead and be done now, separate from anything we would do at the future.
Okay, I know with the critical situation we have at City Hall, basically with hot weather coming on, we do need to act on this, but the savings hopefully on that performance would be worth the time invested. So I'm just curious for an update on that. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Is there a motion?
I'd make the motion.
Motion, second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Next, we have an introduction and reading of Bill 4112, approving final plat of Adams Dairy Landing, lots 4A, 4B, 5A, etc. Who would like to introduce it?
I'll introduce it, Your Honor.
Okay.
Excuse me, Your Honor. First reading of Bill number 4112, an ordinance approving the final plat for Adams Dairy Landing, lots 4A, 4B, 5A, and 5B, a resurvey of lots 4 and 5, Adams Dairy Landing, first plat.
Is there a motion?
So move.
Did it be approved on its first reading?
First
Proceed
reading
to
and
second?
move to the second reading.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no.
Second reading of Bill number 4112, an ordinance approving the final plat for Adams Dairy Landing, lots 4A, 4B, 5A, and 5B, a resurvey of lots 4 and 5, Adams Dairy Landing, first plat.
Your Honor, I move that it be approved on its second reading and proceed to its ordinance number.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Councilman Carter,
Aye.
Councilman Edmondson,
Aye.
Councilman Barron,
Aye.
Councilman Law,
Aye.
Councilman Levis.
Aye.
Carried, giving it ordinance number 4295.
Next brings us to mayoral announcements. Again, I want to express my appreciation to all the members that have served the city well, wish you well in your endeavors, and also want to welcome the 3 new members to the city council. As I reflected back and talked to people, I think this is the first time in my memory that we've had 50% of the council turn over in one election. And it might be a record. But anyway, we congratulate you. We know that you're up to the job, and as we met with you last week, I indicated that this was not baptism by water. This is baptism by fire, because we have a lot of issues we're dealing with, and certainly you're very capable and you're up to those challenges. I started over the last month or so having a segment in the agenda called Thoughts to Ponder. And tonight's Thoughts to Ponder comes from an anonymous writer that says, you never learn anything while talking. Which brings me to visitors. I don't have any visitors forms. Are there any visitors that wish to speak? Seeing none, I would accept the motion to adjourn, but before we do that, we have refreshments in the back. So we encourage you to stay around, wish our old, I'm not going to say old, our former council members well, and also to wish our new council members well in their new endeavors. So that being said, refreshments in the back, we'll accept the motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Is there a second? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. We adjourn.